welcome everybody to Javohn Wants to Know. Today I have a great guest on, Mr. Speak Life 310.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. And before we get started, everybody, make sure that you subscribe, like, and throw some comments in there, especially for Speak Life after you watch this, because he's gonna hit you with a lot of gems, a lot of positivity. So make sure that you go ahead and subscribe, also so you can see all the other great creators that we have on this show. Now, speaking of that, Speak Life, yo, tell
Yes,
everybody
sir.
who you are and what do you do?
Go by Speak Like 310, born and raised in Los Angeles County, currently in Orange County, and I host and produce special events, mainly pertaining to music artists. So helping a lot of music artists go from levels, from this level here in front of performing in front of 100 people to performing in front of 3,500 people. And I also host and co-produce fashion shows in LA County. So my special events in Orange County mainly pertaining to working with music artists. My special events in LA mainly pertain to fashion shows.
Nice. Okay. Okay. So I like that. You said that you help artists get from, performing into like pretty much a smaller crowd to these
Mhm.
big old crowds. Now, tell me the process about that right there.
Sure. So I get in contact with different venues throughout Orange County. I look for more intimate venues anywhere between that has a capacity of about maybe 100 to maybe 200, 250 people. And so I have something called Industry Night, which is something I've been doing since March of or April of 2023, which is where I have different types of music artists from hip hop, reggaeton. I have to roll the R a little bit. Reggaeton, R&B, pop artists. They come out, they hit the stage to perform anywhere between 7 to 12 minutes, and they perform in front of their peers, in front of other music artists, and it's basically a beautiful, safe, supportive hub for music artists to come out, network, perform, show people what they got, new music that they're dropping, and so forth. And so I can help them perform on stages such as that, which is where I don't know why I look kind of dark like that for some reason. But I work on special events like that. And then the music artists that I'm noticing that are grinding really hard, they're constantly promoting, dropping new music. They go crazy on the ticket sales. Those artists, I help them get to that next level where they're opening up for different types of headliners at different venues, larger venues that are like 1,000 or more. So, for example, I have two artists performing. They're opening up for DJ Quick at the Garden Amp in front of about 1,500 people, and this is next Wednesday. I have artist named Maxo. Big shout out to Maxo.
Nice.
Um, he's opening up for Danny Lay next Wednesday at the House of Blues in San Diego. And and then earlier this month I had two artists or three artists, okay, Kareem, Young Doom, and Aaron opening up for Jizza of the Wu-Tang Clan at the Garden Amp. So they're performing in front of 1,000 plus people, and these are artists I've been working heavy with for my industry night events. That's been grinding the last several months, and
Fire.
I have to open that up for them.
That's awesome, dude. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you've been doing a lot of work since I met you. I've been knowing you probably around 4 years now.
That
And
just flew by
bro,
so fast, man.
time go fast, and you've been grinding, man, and I love it. I love the motivation, the inspiration that you put out for everyone. For you guys that don't know, you make sure you follow Speak Life too. I'll have his information down inside the description. But he always throws some really good positive things out there, and it really motivates a lot of people. I don't know if you know it does help a lot of people. So continue to do that right there. That
Thank
that
you. I
energy
appreciate
is much
that.
necessary. So
Thank you,
now
fam.
I want to know something. Like you're a music artist yourself.
Yes, music
Um,
artist first, then producer.
and producer and event producer. So
Event
you
producer. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. And so what made you first, what made you become a music artist? What was that put you into that realm? And then what made you kind of like shift into this whole thing about, taking on the responsibility of helping other music artists? Because a lot of times
Mm.
you would think some music artists, they really want to blow themselves up, you know what I'm saying? But to
Mhm.
me, I get it that you blow other people up. Tell me that whole like in the interesting thing about that.
So I got into music originally. I was like 18 years old. My older brother, rest in peace. I did my first record with him, and it was at he went to Cal State Fullerton. I later went to Cal State Fullerton, And and so when I was 18 years old, it was some of his roommates from Cal State Fullerton from back in the day, right? So he's like 10 years older than me.
Okay.
And he came in on this hook, and I just, did like two or three verses, and everybody was feeling it. And I started, rapping, in college and stuff like that, and doing shows on campus at Cal State Fullerton. And then my best friend, B. Clark, the King, Brandon Clark, who actually put me up on just producing events. May he rest in peace as well. He's the one that introduced me to this game. So then I started getting into the promotion side of things. And my first event was on my birthday, so I started promoting. I had about
Right.
200 people there. So then I started promoting and like rapping, right? So I'm having like a nice little setup because he's opening doors for artists to perform as well, and then I'm coming on as an artist. And then I started staying like more behind the scenes on the production side, but I was still working on music. And then I think like 2010, 2011, that's when Speak Life 310, this artist name came up. It's a whole backstory behind it, but
Go through
it
that.
came into me in a vision.
Tell me about that. I
So
wanted to know about how did that name come along. That's a name
yeah,
right there. So how did you get that name?
yeah. I mean, not to take up too much time because it is like a whole story, but basically during that around that time I was working with B Clark, and we had a really dope life. We were like promoters in Orange County, and we had headliners. We were like the first ones having like headliners come out from LA to Orange County. It wasn't really a lot of celebrity hip hop artists that were making appearances in Orange County. And big shout out to B Clark, my boy NIC, the world famous NIC. He's a part of Earth Tone with Ela, and DJ Mike Smooth. They were the ones that like started this event called the Candy Shop, and then they the ones that started booking these headliners and stuff like that. And I came on as a promoter working with them,
Okay.
just learned the game from them. But then fast forward with the Speak Life 310, I had a dope lifestyle. It was good money being made with my boy B Clark, and it was a fast life. It was always models around. It was bottle service, bottles popping.
Right.
I'm on stage with celebrities, and it was an addictive lifestyle. I can go to any club, any venue in Orange County, and they know who I am, and I just go in. Who you with? Are you with? Oh, yo, let's come on.
Yeah.
And so what happened was, I felt like God was trying to push me out the game because I was so lost in the sauce. It's a very addictive lifestyle when you're making pretty decent money. And
True.
I had all types of jewelry, like big diamond rings, big princess cut, canary diamond earrings, just myself. And B Clark was twice as flashy as I was. But when you reach the levels of success, it comes, jealousy, envy comes with it.
Yeah.
And so, God was heavy on my spirit trying to push me out the game because I believed that he had more for me, but that lifestyle was addictive. One day I threw an event across the street from Cal State Fullerton, and it just flopped, bro. Like,
Mm.
I lost a lot of money. And I was like,
Mm.
all right, God. I was like, all right, God, you got me. I was like, you got me. Okay. Like, I'm going to jump out the game. And I quit cold turkey. And as a result of that, I got humbled and lost everything. I had a two-story apartment in Huntington Beach. And at the time, my mother was staying with me because my brother had passed not too long ago. And so,
Mm.
I, I had the blessing of taking on the responsibility of, looking out for my mom, and she was grieving, and there was a lot going on with that. And so I ended up losing my apartment because I wasn't able to afford it. I quit cold turkey. I just honored what God put on my spirit. I just quit. And so I ended up on my one of my good friends, Ryan. His name is Kaz. Nickname is Kaz. I ended up on his floor, for like 2 or 3 months, and during that time, I had broken ribs too. It was crazy. It was like the story of Job. Like I felt like God took my finances, and my health took my health, and then eventually I ended up on my cousin's couch in Irvine. And during that time, that was when the whole vision of Speak Like 310 came to me because I lost everything. But at that same time, that's when I was most connected to God because I found myself, going to church 4 times a week. I wasn't drinking, I wasn't smoking, I was celibate, I wasn't going out. The only people I saw was my cousin, my mom, and my girl at the time.
Yeah.
And and later on, like 2 months later, the Holy Spirit told me to give my Honda to my cousin. And so I gave my Honda to my cousin. I called my mom first. I said, Mom, like I think the Holy Spirit told me to give my car away. And she was like, well, you know what you need to do? I'm like, Mom, I'm not trying to catch the bus out here, though. That's crazy. And she said,
Right.
well, you gotta honor the Holy Spirit. You gotta honor if it's heavy in your spirit. So I gave my car away. So during this time, I lost everything. I had nothing under my name, no house, no apartment, no vehicle. I'm catching the bus. But during that time, that's what God was moving so heavy in my life. And he opened up so many doors for me. Like I got my first like marketing job in corporate America there because my whole background was entertainment related stuff. I had no corporate, no real world, no regular job, resume, and I got my first marketing job by the grace of God. Some drunk dude named Michael Jordan, some drunk dude with missing teeth at this sales company hired me as an opener. And then like, fast forward within like 5 months, I got promoted to like a general manager over 25 people. And then it led to a different position because that company went down, went to a different position to where I was working with a different company, which led to me making like 10 grand in like, 2 weeks. And God
Wow.
was just blessing me like crazy, but Speak Like 310, that came to me in a vision. And that's when I locked in and I dropped this mixtape called The Transition. And then from
Mm,
there, that's when I stuck with the whole vibe of Speak Like 310, stuck with the vibe of creating like hip hop music that, doesn't drop like curse words or in bombs and I don't disrespect women and stuff like that. I just want to just have something refreshing. But when people hear my music, you wouldn't even have noticed that that's my vibe until I actually say it. And that's where Speak Like 310 comes from. It was like a vision, and then I dropped this mixtape, and then it was heavy on my spirit. Like I gotta speak life. I gotta see this shirt right here. It says "Believe there's good in the world." I started a website called speaklifeworld.com where the goal here is to make t-shirts and hoodies that give a positive message
yeah.
without you having to say a word. Like you could be across the room and I get a lot of feedback on this shirt or this hoodie. I get a lot of feedback, especially in like Newport Beach and Laguna, because they real chill out there.
Yeah.
So the goal here is just to speak life. Proverbs, you feel me? Like you could either speak life or speak death. And that's basically where Speak Life 310 came from, the short version. Just time of humility. God humbled me, showed me the light, the way. Uh, and what's crazy about it is that was the happiest I've ever been in my entire life. I owned
Wow.
nothing. And that was the happiest I've been in my life because I was at church 4 times a day, school of discipleship on Tuesdays, Bible study on Wednesdays, couples in covenant when I had a girl over there at the time, Thursdays, and church on Sundays, bro. And that was the happiest I've ever been in my life. And then shortly after that, God just blessed me tremendously. And I just been on that vibe right there.
Man, that's
So
beautiful. That's a beautiful message. It really shows a lot, as far as who you are and how you handled, these different things that has happened to you. You had, different people that you love pass and, losing all of your things. And then you still found a way to see the positive of it and
mhm.
also
Amen.
accept the challenge that was given to you from God, from the Holy Spirit. You had to accept that. And a lot
Yeah.
of people run from those type of challenges because,
Mhm.
we get afraid.
Oh yeah, it can be intimidating, bro. They say if your dream or your vision doesn't scare you, it's not big enough. And
Mm,
of course, man, I mean, give your car away. What? Uh, like get out the game. Like what? Like I'm
yeah.
back in the game, but I'm a lot more spiritually mature, emotionally, mentally mature to where now I'm not even distracted by whatever's around. I'm able to just lock in and focus on my purpose, which is to just speak life. Like, Jesus went into like the caves. He went to dark places, to
Right.
pull people out. He flipping tables over when there was gambling, but he was around amongst the gamblers and, you know, the people that, this current world would just look at sideways, and he would go to them. He go to these places, and I'm blessed to be able to get on different stages and be in a club, hosting an event, talking about praise God.
Yeah.
Let's get this event popping. That's
Right.
I took on that responsibility, and I'm gonna keep running with it. You know what I
Nice. I love that. Yeah, Jesus was flipping over some tables. He would have flipped over a lot of tables in the NBA right
mean?
now.
He was flipping tables.
I got another question. So, what is your process when you're producing these events? Like, how do you set that up?
So step one, I get in contact with different venues. In this case, I've been working exclusively with the Yost Theater in downtown Santa Ana. Big shout out to the Yost. They have a very, very supportive production team, management supportive. the CEO of the company, we can call each other. Very supportive squad over there. And so, I mean, step one, what dates do you have available? Okay,
Okay.
bet. I want that date. Okay. This the deposit. All right, cool. Step two, grab a blank sheet of paper. And like, what do I want to do? We God created us in his image and he created us with the ability to create. So I get this blank sheet of paper. What do I want to do? So for example, if it's an industry night, so this Saturday, November 22nd, is industry night number 20. I've done 19 of these, right? This is
Whew,
the 20th one, fam.
work.
And so a white sheet of paper, I'm like, okay, write down the date, write down the name. Okay, who's gonna be my DJ? I have a go-to DJ is usually DJ Stutters. That's my guy.
Okay.
Um, this time I wanted to switch it up and bring a different vibe. So I got DJ Nixie. So Nixie's from MVP Records, is a Latino hip hop independent record label who's moving, doing crazy shows, crazy tours. Big shout out to them.
Nice.
And touring with like headliners like crazy, different states. They're gonna be in Miami, like
Hmm.
coming up. But so I put down, okay, DJ Nixie, he's available. Cool. Now it's like, all right, I want to have about 8 artists, hip hop, R&B, reggaeton, whichever artist that I feel like have a special gift. So then it's 8 artists. So then I'll post on social media, hey, not booking, industry night, and the first I get in contact with some of the artists individually and give them a personal invite
Okay.
because it's a whole process. Like for the other individuals that I have them submit their music, and if their music is talking about heavy violence, banging heavy, anything along the lines of that, unfortunately, it doesn't fit the guidelines of the show. I want to make sure that industry night is the most like a positive vibe, minimal to no negative energy in that room. And by the grace of God, I've been blessed to have all successful events, have just good vibes, connections. These artists click up, they connect. Some of them end up in the studio the same night, right after industry night. There's a studio down the street called Silent Studio. Shout out to them. And the last two industry nights, we walk 2 to 3 blocks, go to the studio, and right after the event is over around 1:30 or 2, we at that studio until 5, 6 in the morning,
That's a
so we just
vibe
be
right
working.
there. That's a
It's
vibe.
a vibe, man. And we're just in there creating and just
Yeah.
vibing and just building the culture. I'm big on just building community, building culture, and building support. So the white sheet of paper, once I get my 8 artists, boom, I got my DJ. Okay, cool. I gotta make sure the numbers are there, right? So the goal is to always have at least 100 tickets. So for this event, so I can have 100 heads in there, because at the end of the day, these venues and bars, all they care about is the numbers. How many people can you get into my venue to go to my bar to buy drinks? What can
Right.
you do to run up that bar? That's all they care about. So as long as you can bring the numbers in, you can get in anywhere. And
Okay.
and so that's the gist of it. And I hit the stage, I host it, I hype the artists up, bring them out, make sure they have a boatload of limelight. I just hype them like crazy. And I mean, that's essentially it.
And you
Put it
and you
together, have a successful show, and
and you do that with fashion shows, the same process with the fashion shows as well, pretty much.
the fashion shows is similar.
Okay.
Find the venue. Okay, like with us, big shout out to Fashion Furious, uh, De La Smooth, Remy, Maddie, and Serena. That's the production team there. I host events with them. Anything that they need for me to further assist the production, I'm all over that. But that one's a little bit different because it's bigger venues for that. Now we get exotic cars involved, so we got to get in contact with the car clubs that, man, then we bringing out Ferraris, Rolls Royces, Porsches, like exotic cars, Aston Martins. And we're the first ones in the game to do it, to have exotic cars on the runway. So we'll have exotic cars parked in, and then the models are walking in between, and it's freaking phenomenal.
Nice.
So it's a little bit different from industry night. Industry night's easier. Those shows are bigger because then you have to hit up a boatload of photographers, videographers, all the models. You have to do a casting call or casting calls, and you have to get the models to come out. And then those casting calls, you got to hit the designers, get the designers locked in. The designers have to be at the casting call so they can see which models they feel are aligned with their whole vibe.
Yeah.
But essentially, it's similar, but it's a little bit more work with that one.
Okay, yeah, that's real good right there. Now,
Mm.
since you're talking about that, you have a creators retreat coming up.
Yeah.
Go briefly go over that. Tell me about that. I actually want to know about this because I'm gonna swoop through that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, once again, my goal is to build communities and bring people together, bring networks together. There's a bunch of talented people that I know from photographers, videographers, models, designers, music artists, and so forth. So I'm like, well, why not bring them all together? So I'm going to be producing and hosting this event with my partner. Big shout out to Beats Bunny. Um, we're going to be co-hosting this special event. So it's going to be a retreat in Joshua Tree from December the 1st to the
Nice.
7th. Really like December 1st to the 6th. The 7th, we got to kind of like clean up and everything. And
Yeah.
so it's really December the 1st to the 6th. And
Okay.
basically, it's an opportunity for music artists to come out. It's going to be actually this setup right here, this screen right here. You see the headphones over here. Like this
Yeah.
is actually one of the rooms. It's this big projector that's over here. Like this is one of the rooms that's going to be at this retreat.
Nice.
And so the goal here is we're going to have multiple days of music artists coming together, producers coming together to work on music. I'm gonna have like two producers at a time in two different rooms. We're just gonna be creating. And then we're going to do some hiking as well. We're going to do some meditating, some meditation with intention, and um, and that's going to be led. We have a company coming out, and that's going to be led as well. And so hiking, meditating, and creating. And then December the 3rd and the 4th, I'm opening it up more so to the public because we're going to have like a creators day. So videographers and photographers, models and designers will come out and
Nice.
just shoot a boatload of content, whether it be because we're gonna be sitting on about 2-3 acres of land, and we're
Okay.
the only house on that land, so people can shoot all up in the mountains wherever they want to go. The house is really decked out. It's definitely a shooter's house. A lot of Instagram worthy settings for these models to shine on. And then we're only 2 miles away from the entrance to Joshua Trees hiking. So, we're going to have a videographer pull up. That's a part of the Smile Talk team where he handles drones. And,
Nice.
and so we're going to get some drone shots out there. So it's just an opportunity for everybody to come together, connect, network, and create essentially. And, obviously at nighttime, be able to stargaze and just vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be a really, really nice reset.
Yeah, I like that. I'm definitely gonna swing through there for sure.
Or you are always invited. You
Appreciate
always
it.
have good vibes, man. Why would like it's a must. So yeah.
How do you keep this positive vibe? Like, and do you have a do you have quotes of the day? If you do, what is your quote of today?
Uh, I may not be where I'm at today, but I'm grateful that I'm not where I was, right?
Nice.
That's the one that's I sitting right now. And then the next quote that hits me is Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So to answer your question, man, I just stay prayed up. I focus on all of my blessings. Life can be hard, bro. Life can
Yeah.
be like so freaking hard. And a lot of trials and tribulations can just hit at random times and it just catches you off guard. And sometimes people react in the flesh. I aim to react in the spirit, because when we
Mm,
react in the flesh, it now we sometimes react off of emotion. What does that emotion do? It starts creating more negative energy, and then it starts having a ripple effect, and then you continue to attract negative energy. But I start focusing on like all of my blessings, blessed to have a roof over my head, blessed to be able to get from A to B, blessed to do what I love. I'm so blessed to do what I love. Like I get to help people elevate around me. I think about my mom and how grateful I am to have her. I think about um, man, I think about just all of my blessings. I think about my queen. You feel me? Like I just think about everything that I'm blessed to have. And that's what helps me stay as positive as I can be because the average person, like I'm going through it just like everybody else, but you would never know simply because I don't make it my focus. Like we
right.
can't, if you make it the focus, it's going to magnify. So I rather focus on the everything that's going good in my life and let that magnify. And then soon it just consumes whatever's negative or it consumes the obstacle, right? So
Hmm. No,
yeah.
I hear you right there. I actually have this thing that I've been going by for many, many years, and a lot of people that know me know it, and it's I do not speak my problems out loud. Like, I'm not
Yeah.
saying never, but
Mhm.
by controlling will, I don't, because I've learned that when you speak those things, they become like a life form. Like then now it's next to
Yep.
you, you know, and
Yep.
it affects you bad.
Absolutely agree. 1000%, man. We could speak life or we could speak death. And there'll be people asking me, well, what's wrong? What can I do? It's like, what's the point of talking about it? What's the point of talking about it? Like you're not gonna have there's some people that need to talk and it helps them. Like that's why they go to therapists or, whatever the case may be. And to each his own, whatever works for you. Me personally, I just always relied on God. I relied on Christ, and I go there first.
So now there's something I noticed. You mentioned your mother a lot, and I'm someone that's real close with my mom. I have a very God-fearing mom. She's actually a pastor, and
Yeah.
I can tell that you and your mom are very close. Um, your mom's your backbone. What is some of the things that she has done to really shape you the most?
Man, I think the main thing with my mother is I, she lead by example. I
Mm,
was I watched her as I was growing up. I watched her fasting and praying all the time. I saw her reading the Bible all the time. I saw her praying and caring for others, showing people unconditional love, showing me unconditional love. And that's what gave me a really solid foundation. Her getting me to church, me coming from a family of anointed women,
mm,
God-fearing women. My grandmother singing in the church with her guitar at 20 years old, leading the church. And my grandmother had so many Bibles. She ran through so many of them from flipping pages. I mean, she ran through like 10 of them, and they only fell apart because she was reading the Bible so much. So
yeah.
that's where I get my foundation from. Is her, and she gives me always very supportive, always gives me great advice. Anything that I want to, she's always told me like go after whatever it is that you want to go after. Anything that's positive, go for it. Travel, do music, anything that I want to do, any type of business ventures, anything. She was always just very supportive, and just watching her work really hard to take care of myself because my brother, he's 10 years older than me. So when he was 18, he went to college. It was just me and her at 8 when I was 8, so with her, it was just her showing me unconditional love and showing me God's love is what created such a dope foundation for me.
Now I'm gonna switch it up a little bit. Um, what do you feel about uh how can I say this? Hip hop had didn't get inside of the top, what is it called? The top charts this year. I think it's
Interesting.
the first time since 2004 or somewhere over there or in the 90s, man. It's been a while since no hip hop artist has been put in this category. What do you think about that?
So it's just no hip hop winners, like
Yeah,
for what
it's
award show
no nominations. It was just like the billboards. It's like
for the
no,
Billboard 100.
yeah, for the Billboard
There was no
100
hip hop. There was no hip hop songs that made the Billboard 100.
for the first time in a long,
Wow.
yeah,
I mean, that could be so many different reasons. It could be politics. It can just be that hip hop is dead. Nas already projected that like 10 years ago when he dropped Hip Hop Was Dead. That could be
yeah,
it. It could be anything, but that's crazy to hear. I would have never guessed that would ever happen because
yeah,
hip hop has always been so influential. I mean, it still is. It's gonna forever be influential. It's gonna forever, bust down doors for, certain opportunities. But that's crazy. I didn't even know that. That's hard to
yeah,
believe.
yeah. It is. When I heard it, I was like, okay, I kind of can understand why, because
Garbage out there, bro.
you had to say it,
I said it's garbage out
you
there.
had to say it.
Music is crazy, man.
Like
It ain't like 90s hip hop.
nah. It's really no one thing I noticed about hip hop for many years, and it's not like a company, it's a
Mhm.
lot of businesses that's running in it, but it doesn't run like a company. Like they don't have a sexual harassment department,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
so
yeah.
it's very hard for it to have a consistent structure due to that, and since there is no consistent structure, this is why we are here because, people are tired of it. They're
Yep.
tired of what comes with it. I mean,
Mm,
if you rent an event, rent a space to do a concert and it's hip hop, your insurance is like 5 times higher than, other
yeah.
music and stuff, so people are tired of it and it's gonna have to change for it to get the love. Now, I don't really care too much about these charts and these award shows and
Yeah.
stuff myself, but it is a big tell, to
Mhm.
see that, one didn't even make it onto the list. That's just
That's crazy,
ridiculous.
man. It don't even seem real. It don't even seem real, bro. But
It don't.
that's where we at, and I get that they you throw a hip hop show, they got to pay so much more for insurance, and they have to hire more security, and typically things pop off at hip hop shows. Now, by the grace of God, you know, I haven't had any issues, and it's because I'm very selective with the artists
Yeah.
that I put on, and it goes to that. If you bring out a certain type of artist, they're gonna bring out a certain type of crowd. And if you want to take that risk, you want to drop 10, 15, 20 bands on a music artist because he hot, but he in the streets, it's gonna come with a little extra.
Yeah.
And all we can do is pray for those promoters, pray for those artists, pray for the people that go out to those shows. And but as a promoter, as a event coordinator, as a event producer, you have to be very selective with the type of artist that you book because they will bring whatever energy that they put out.
Yeah, and that's gonna go with you every time you try to do another event. Your
Mhm.
name is your name. My
Oh,
name is my name.
it's everything. Your name is everything, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, what do you, I want to know, who do you think the number one hip hop artist of all?
Nas, bro. Nas.
Who?
Nas.
Hey, okay, okay.
Nas forever, bro. Like Nas, bro. Obviously I got my favorites. But Nas has been so consistent, especially recently, especially like the last like 5 years. He's just been going crazy, just dropping 3 albums in a year.
Yeah.
King's Disease. But I've been listening to him since I was in high school. And man, this dude, like he actually talks about stuff. He actually talks about real life, and he's an amazing storyteller. He can just the dude is just nice, man.
Yeah.
And just he's just nice. That's the nicest hip hop artist ever,
See, I
for,
see,
for
I
me.
see why I like you. I see because that's my top choice too. And it's an
Yeah,
interesting thing because we're some West Coast guys. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah.
we went with the Queensbridge kid. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
but you said it all. Nas definitely is very prolific. He has a strong message. Uh, he carries himself in a manner that's respectable.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. He doesn't
He's
act like
not
a nut.
not a nut, but he's not soft either. So,
Mm-hmm.
he really comes off as someone that, you can say, oh, that's my guy and feel comfortable with that,
Yep.
versus a lot of people have all these different things behind them. And you're like, oh, and I'm not saying he's perfect or nothing, but just saying that him as a music artist, he represent hip hop to a strong degree. A lot of those
Absolutely.
Queens rappers are pretty cool like that, like I've noticed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Now speaking of music, when are you gonna drop an album? I know you did the EP and the mixtapes album.
Oh, oh. So, when I started producing these shows again, and it started in February, no, March of 2023. The spirit told me to just stay behind the scenes and produce, right? Produce events and put music artists on. And recently, about a month ago, maybe a month and a half ago, I started getting pulled, like get back in the booth, right? Because I recorded a couple of tracks with you, and I'm like, okay, cool, but I was still heavy on my production side, right? I was what was heaviest on my spirit, but I was still open to making music, and I still am. But now it's like a month and a half ago, it really hit me. At
Mm.
the studio, I was at Silent Studios in downtown Santa Ana, and they made me a beat in like 20, 25 minutes. And then it just flowed. I started rapping about, man, I started rapping about these crazy exotic fashion shows that I rapped about my last Fashion Furious runway show. I rapped about that, just a whole it's a whole it was on some Nas vibes. You feel me? It was
Fa-
very, it's a
Fast and
very,
Furious.
it's called Fashion Furious.
What, did you have the cars there that you were
We
talking
had the
about?
cars there.
Okay.
We had Rolls Royces. We had Lambos. Man, we had Porsches. We had everything,
Nice.
and it was about five. It was like maybe $3 4 million worth of cars inside of the venue, inside of this warehouse. It was a members only club venue, right? Members only. A lot of money up in there, and then it was about at least $10 to $15 million worth of cars parked outside, bro. It was a freaking movie, and I just rapped about it, and it came out clean. Okay, I can't
Nice.
wait for you to hear it, man. And
Yeah.
then, obviously threw some Speak Life gems up in there as well. And man, it was crazy, man. Like, and then now I'm like, okay, I'm gonna drop something next year. So I want to drop like a 7 track situation. I'm gonna just drop singles and just kind of test the market and see what's going on. And then eventually, like, the whole thing is gonna drop, I'll say near my birthday in May.
Okay. Look
Yeah,
forward to
yeah.
that.
Thank you,
And
fam.
that and that's interesting. We I met you a few years back, and you
Mm,
were on a show that I used to do, produce, which a music show. And I
mm,
remember you were the first artist opened it up, and I heard your song because everyone sent me the songs first to set, do the scheduling and stuff. And I was like, oh, this is a nice song. But when you performed it, the feeling, the energy, the spirit of it
yeah.
really set the tone for it because we had 20 artists perform that day, and we were
Dang.
filming them all. You were the first one. And I remember you stayed a pretty long time and just had this vibe, that really raised the feeling. And at the time I was working on getting my feature film out on the networks, and
Mm,
I
mm,
needed a song to open it up. And I remember talking to you, and I
mm.
was like, "Yo, can I use your song on
Yeah,
my movie? This
yeah.
is gonna open it up." And that was one of the best decisions I made, bro. Like, it
Of course.
really, anytime I watch the movie, that song starts with that song and it ends with that song. And
Yes.
it's just really, because when I made that film, I didn't want cursing in there. I didn't want anything that was, normalized, and when people, put money behind you and they want to make you do stuff for
Mm,
attention, right? I was like, yo, I'm putting the money behind this. I want this to be, something, a story that I'm telling. And that with that song you had really just solidified the whole mood of what I was trying to get because it was very
mm.
spiritual. But how
Yeah,
did you feel when you saw the movie on your big
yeah.
screen at your house and your song came on? How did that make you feel? Like, what was that feeling right there?
Bro, hey, big shout out to Chat Page. Actually, I was on Tubi a couple of days ago, and Chat Page came up on there. I was like, that's my
Nice.
dude. That was
Nice.
crazy. It was great, bro. It's such a blessing to see you up there, man, and seeing your movie up there. But when I heard my song on the intro, I was like, dang, and it fits so perfect.
Yeah.
I just wanted to cry. I just felt extremely blessed and grateful for that opportunity to, just share some good vibes and create with you. I'm forever grateful for you putting my song in the beginning and the end of the movie. It's dope, bro. Like, the song is called "I'm Sinning," and I ain't gonna lie, like, Spotify took it down for whatever reason, but
Serious?
yeah, it was weird. I gotta like re-upload it or something. That's crazy, man. It's when you create something, especially on that level, bro. You created a whole freaking movie, and you created the movie, and it was supposed to be
The
and it
90s.
was 90s and in Inglewood, and I was
Yeah.
able to relate to that so much because I was raised in Inglewood, so I was able to relate to the movie so much over that fact. So the idea of me being on a 90s movie that was filmed in Inglewood about being out there and my song is on there, it just resonates with me so much more effectively. I'm really connected to that movie, man, for
Awesome.
real. Thank you for that
Awesome. I
again.
appreciate that. And I have a series, a sequel, but it's a series, so that's in the
Hey,
works. So you already own that. So just know
mhm.
it.
Yeah, my acting game about to be up over there. Watch.
Yes, sir.
I'm at my acting game popping on your series, man.
Yeah, it's this series is gonna be fire, man, because it just really takes off from, that serious incident that happened at the end of the movie,
Yeah.
and it's 20 years later, 25
Mm.
years later, the daughter of the couple that got together in the end.
Oh. That's
and the guy
crazy.
that had
Hey,
the
make sure you watch
problem.
the movie Chat
Yeah,
Page,
yeah, you
bro.
know what I'm saying?
Make sure
Like
you watch that movie,
it's
bro.
good, bro.
Watch it to
I
the
wrote
end.
this.
It's
This
a
script
plot
is
twist.
nice.
Yeah, it's a nice little plot twist on there too. It's
Yeah,
freaking funny. It's relatable. It's very relatable. And the main character, man, that dude is man, Bishop Bag.
yeah, Brandon.
Yo, and there's
Yeah,
some superstars in there too. There's some people that's in the movie that became superstars a little bit later, you know. So
yeah,
make sure you check
yeah,
that movie out, Chat Page for real.
yeah. The chat page. All
Hmm.
right, man. Another question I have. So, what is like the most bizarre thing that has happened to you, in the entertainment industry, or the most bizarre thing you've seen?
Dang. Oh my gosh. Man. Shit. Bizarre.
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 Don't try to hold back.
Bizarre. Dang.
This is for the people out there. They want to know.
Yeah. Dang. I remember man, I dang, it's a few, man. It's a few. The one that stands out to me first is I had an event with my boys. This was at the Shark Club in Costa Mesa a few years back, some years back, and we booked Ray J.
Okay.
And Ray J pulled up, cool dude, chill, but he had his peoples with him, like his
Mm,
security.
okay.
His security is not regular security. His security is in the streets. You feel me?
Mm,
So I'm hosting this event. I got the microphone. I'm on stage, I'm hyping up the crowd. They got a couch up there, like for him, so he can just go up there and chill. And
yeah.
he had one of his dudes up there. And I'm at the venue. I know everybody at the venue. I know the security. I know everybody, right? And what I was doing was it was one of my boys I seen from college. I was like, oh, and he be breakdancing and stuff, like doing all types of crazy dances. I'm like, oh, I'm about to bring him up because he gonna hype the crowd up even more. Cause Ray J was like, he wasn't on stage yet. Like he was
Okay.
like in the VIP, I believe, right? And so I was like, I'm gonna bring my boy up to hype up the crowd. So I told him, I was like, yo, come up. And then Ray J's dude came up to me. He's like, hey, he banged on me, bro. He just banged on me. He's like, hey man, we ain't having that. He said what he said. I'm like, bro, like, what do you like? Just chill, man. Like, this is my event. Like, no, I ain't trying to hear none of that. I ain't trying to hear none of that.
Whoa.
And he was like, yo, man's get off the stage. As a matter of fact, you need to get off the stage. And I was just like, damn, this is crazy. And I don't know if anybody noticed it other than my sound guy, Nelson. I
Mm-hmm.
can't believe I even remember this guy's name. It's this chubby dude. His name is Nelson. He used to work the sound. Nelson saw it. His eyes got big, like, dang. And then he was like, yo, you want me to call security? You want me to call security and escort him out? And I'm just like, nah, bro, we can't mess up the money, man. We can't mess up the money.
Yeah.
And I had to approach it from a business perspective.
Right.
Like, forget the ego, forget the
Yeah.
tough guy, none of that. If he wants to be on that type of time, it's cool. I'm not going to mess up the money for me and my partners. Because then
Right.
if something pop off in here, what's going to happen? The place going to probably get cleared out. The people are not going to get the show. They're not going to get to see Ray J perform.
Yeah.
I'm a Ray J fan. That dude is nice.
Yeah. Me too.
I'm not going to be able to see him perform. Let me just get off the stage. I put my ego aside and I just let him have it because it could have got messy. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But big shout out to Ray J and big shout out to the security man because he wasn't playing. And you need to have people. Yeah, like look, I can't even knock it. You gotta have dudes like that around you when you reach a certain status. I wish it would have been some type of communication
Yeah.
to where we would have been cool and it would have been on that type of energy. But and the show went on. And then
Yeah.
once he got off the stage, I got back on stage, kept doing my thing. The ladies were coming popping bottles. It was a good night.
Right. Right.
So all that whole it was a good night, except for that little moment. But
Yeah.
it could have went super left.
Yeah.
But so in this game, a lot of people react off of emotions, they react off of ego and
True.
pride, and that's what escalates things. And then now everybody's missing out on money. Now
Mhm.
everybody is like, now the crowd that paid for tickets are not going to be able to see a show because something happened. So if you're in this game, get control of your emotions and approach everything from a business perspective. You know.
I don't know if you're familiar with it, but Rock Nation just started this distribution thing for artists, and
Mhm.
they'll basically receive 15% off of, your revenue, but they're saying like, yo, you're gonna get paid, you're gonna get all your money, you're gonna get it fast, you're gonna be able to, jump in the dashboard, check on all your stats, all that stuff. But then you have some other artists, mainstream artists like Russ, and they're like, yo, that's don't do that. Like, so what do you think about that?
So let me understand it. So, they let the artist keep 85%. They get
Yes.
15%
Yeah.
for simply uploading your music to like 200 different platforms or something like
Yeah.
that, correct? Is
Pretty
there
much.
anything else they offer? Do they offer any type of marketing? Do they like
I didn't.
do they get you placed on like certain Spotify playlists or something like that? Like what else are they offering? Because if they're not offering any type of marketing behind it, it's like you might as well just stay independent doing what you're doing. Russ always has the blueprint. Russ always has the blueprint
Yeah.
for independent vibes and how to monetize and grind.
Yeah, for real.
So if it doesn't come with some type of marketing behind it, any type of placements, or if they're not able to possibly not only placements on like streaming platforms or Spotify, but placements in like maybe movies, syncing and stuff like that. And even if they did, it's like, dang, we talking about if it's 100,000, I think 100,000 songs a day gets uploaded to
Whew.
Spotify. It's like, how would you even go through? They wouldn't even be able to get to your song to even see if you can get your. So it's like, so what are they doing? What are they
Hey,
doing for that 15%?
that's a great question. Because
Uh,
most of us artists now, we up on game. We know how to collect all of our royalties.
mm-hmm,
We're signed up, we
mm-hmm,
registered to everything. We got PROs and, sound exchange, all that stuff. So,
mm-hmm.
you know, this is a database that just let us see what we already been trying to do. Yeah, I kind of feel what Russ is saying right there. If I'm gonna give you 15%, 50% is what you give someone that do a lot of work for you, like a manager.
Yeah, like a manager gets 20%. The manager goes out and hunt for you and gets you shows and gets you situations. That 20% is earned. It's going out there to get it. This 15% is like for what?
Yeah. I'm gonna say something to all you artists out there. I'm gonna just say this. Back in the day when we first started this internet stuff, repping our music and stuff, we all had websites. Okay, we created a
Mm-hmm,
website. We put our music on that website. We put our pictures. We did everything there. People came to us. Somehow
mm-hmm,
we all fell off the way a little bit. Got into this whole easy way to do it, upload it, get it to everyone in the world. But it's not getting to anyone because
mm-hmm,
right on top, the main artists are going to be seen. You're going to be pushed down, and then when you advertise yourself, once your song come on, it's 50,000 other ones that's just like you that's going to attract someone off of you too. So
mm-hmm,
I think that artists these days, all of us artists out here, we have to start getting back into the older way of when we got onto internet and start promoting ourselves, and that is bringing it all back to ourselves, creating your websites.
mm-hmm.
Just use AI and make a website now, and
Yeah.
promote our stuff and get people to buy into you as a person versus trying to make them hear your song and, oh, I make a great song. No, who are you? What do you
Yeah.
represent? This is what's
Mm-hmm.
going to make, whenever you drop your album, this is what's going to make your album very successful. It's
Yeah.
because people who are around you know you. And those people are going to support you naturally. They're going to want to hear what you have to say because they already like what you have to say. So
Mm-hmm.
this is where artists struggle. They're not allowing themselves to be seen and heard. They're trying to force, it's like trying to force feed someone some food and they're not hungry for what you're making. You know,
Yeah.
you have to be no, you have to become the chef. The people have to know that you're a good cook, and then they'll come
Mm-hmm.
to you and they'll buy your meal. So artists
Yeah.
out there, make a website, put all your stuff on the website. Okay, don't worry about that Spotify stuff anymore. It's gonna go down. Trust me.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, they put too much faith in Spotify and not in themselves.
This is very important. I want to know, what is the message that you, when you do your music, what is the message that you wanted to portray to people?
Mm. My message is, and my music is to, you know, I aspire to inspire. I want people to get inspired by my music, get motivated to hustle, to build something for themselves. I want people to receive the message of love, good vibes. There is no competition. Only competition is with yourself.
True.
I want people to receive the message of, God is. If it wasn't for God, I wouldn't be here. If it wasn't for having faith, I wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
I believe in myself like crazy. I believe I can do anything I want to do. I believe if like I believe in like I believe everybody has a blank sheet of paper and you can write whatever you want on that blank sheet of paper and create whatever you want. That's the message I want people to receive when with my music.
Nice. I love that. And if you could go back into the past and to find your young self,
Mm,
a time machine or something, and prove to your young self, hey, I'm really you, and your young self believe you. What is something that you would tell your young self that you believe would help you right now in your current age?
mm. If I can talk to my young self, I would say go for it. Whatever it is that you want to do in life, go for it. There's no room for doubt. Faith and doubt cannot coexist. You can't have an ounce of doubt and you got to be your number one fan. If there's something that you want, just go get it. Do not be afraid to fail. There's a philosophy called failing forward. You don't ever fail. You just learn ways to either do something or not do something. I mean, we know who really created the light bulb, but we'll just say for conversation that Edison did, right? And they said that they
Word.
said that Edison he had 2,000 attempts roughly to get the light bulb going. And then so in other words, he learned 2,000 ways on how not to do it, but he kept doing it. He kept until he completed his task and he figured it out, you
Yeah, if
know.
he would have
So
asked the guy that really made it, he would have got it figured out faster.
oh yeah, absolutely. The person that really made it, yeah, absolutely. But yeah, that's what I would tell my old self is just go for it, fam. Like,
Yeah.
faith and doubt can coexist. You can have anything that you want. And if you want to pursue a passion or a dream, make sure you have the right people around you too. And try not to give so much of yourself to people that do not do the same in return. A
Mm.
lot of people that
Mhm.
like I found myself when I got back into producing events. I know in 2023 and 2024, I believed in so many artists more than they believed in themselves. And what it did was it left me with my cup empty because I poured so much into them, but they didn't have anything to offer me, nothing internal to offer me. So but they also just didn't want it bad enough.
Yeah.
They didn't want it bad enough.
Right.
And in 2025, I told myself I'm only going to work with artists that go hard for themselves
Yeah.
to where all I have to do is open the door. I don't have to carry you up this hill. We going up the hill together. All I got to do is point the direction to where all the food is at the top of the hill. You know what I mean? But
Simple.
so that's the main thing is do not put too much into people that do not reciprocate that same vibe to you. You're gonna draw yourself out.
That's some great advice. Look like you've been following it. So somehow you was able to get that message to yourself before you even knew it. I kind of
Yeah,
have
yeah,
that
yeah.
feeling like I really feel like everything is happening like at the same time, and who you
Hmm.
are now can affect who you were, just like who you were affects who you are. It's not like
Hmm.
it's really hard for me to explain that, but there is a way that works, in this infinite
Look,
way of life.
absolutely.
I appreciate you coming on the show. Javohn wants to know because I really
Yeah,
want to
yeah,
get to know you a lot better. We've
yeah.
done a lot of work together, and we're going to be doing a lot more in the future. I'm excited about it. And
Heck yeah.
for everybody that watch the show, make sure, like I said, make sure you like, subscribe, check out Speak Life 310. His information will be in the description. Make sure that when you guys look at the show, give him some comments, ask some questions, and if you're a music artist, link up with him. Gotta be a positive music artist. Not really positive, but don't come in with
Yeah,
that crazy ratchet stuff because it won't fit the scene. But
yeah, yeah.
reach out to Speak Life. Definitely see what this guy is about. He's a great person, and
Thank you,
we
fam.
love you guys. All right, so have a good one.
Hey, peace out, y'all. Hey, make sure you guys check out Javohn Wants to Know. Stop playing. Leave the comments. Ask me questions. I'm gonna be in his comments answering those questions. Make sure you guys show him a lot of love and support. I have a lot of respect for him. He's done so many amazing, magnificent things that the average person cannot even conceive or even attempt to do. And he's a risk taker, and he's a builder, and he's connected, and he is a freaking amazing creator. So make sure you guys tap in with him. Stay tuned on updated or up to date interviews that's going to be coming in the near future. Lock in with him. I'm a guest on his show. You lock in with him. You feel me? Yeah.
Hey,
Amen, bro. I appreciate you, fam. Thank you for having me.
you too, man. Appreciate you. Tune in. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Keep them comments coming too. Have questions for me to ask on the next episodes. You know?